Hey, what's up, guys? This is TBone here. Welcome to another Tuesday stream. It's actually been a week since I've streamed anything for Legendary, so it's been a little bit of time. Anyways, it is going to be the last event of this season, and so just a reminder: if you have seasonal coins, now would be the time to consider using them up, or think about whether or not you want to invest in a previous hero. And so we've got Judge of All and also Bowen Zhang and Noah Leah. Welcome to the stream here. And just like, let me go and pop this out. There you go. And so I'm actually kind of excited this week because I do finally have enough coins to craft the team. And I do have a little bit of gems saved up. Luckily, I was the guild leader this week, and so everything kind of fell in place. So I got some gems to play with as well. And let's see who else we got here. We got Johnny Cab and Christy, Jill, and let's see, Joe K78, Freaky Vicky, Rock D, James, Chris, and Randall, Angela, Arcadian. Everybody, welcome to the stream. Hello, everybody. All right, so before we get started with the event. As usual, I kind of want to, kick things off with the merch giveaway. But this time I've been working on something a little bit, and I kind of gave a preview to my chat earlier this week. And so what I wanted to show you is, let me see if this works. Let's see if this works. It might not work if my Streamlabs is not in yet. But anyway, I wanted to show you the merch store, and because I've been working on something, and the giveaway that I'm going to be doing this week is going to be from that store itself. And so I'm going to go ahead and get started with the giveaway. And we got people joining from various places. And Aaron Bach, welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for joining us. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this started. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to get this giveaway. Okay. Yeah, so I think with this, what's a little bit different is the way that the giveaway works now with this merch store is you kind of prepay that, and then it gets set up. Okay, so now what you can do is you can go ahead and enter your, you can now enter the raffle, right? So by using the !raffle command, you'll be able to join. So there is a store that I was working on and kind of wanted to give you an idea of what I'm giving away this time. So here is, hopefully it works. So this is the store that I'm working on right now, and it's the dark hat. So this is going to be the hat that I'm going to be giving away this time, and it's the same idea, same concept. So it'll run for 30 minutes. So go ahead and join, and then if you win, you don't actually have to contact me to give your shipping info, which is really good. And so just wanted to kind of show you. The link will be available later on as well. So if you wanted to check out the store or whatnot, you can. But this is the dark one that's going to be for today. All right, so now that we got that going, I'm going to talk about this deck now. Okay, so let's go ahead and what I'm gonna do is a little bit different this time. I'm gonna go ahead and start by opening a few tiers in the pack in the vault here and see what we get. We're gonna start with three tiers here. See where we go. And I do have enough coins because I need to open at least 3 tiers. Well, I think actually I just need 2. I need to open at least 2 tiers to get enough coins, because if you see, I have 75. And if I collect all 3 here, I'll actually have, I only need 6 more coins to get my 84. So I'll be able to craft both cards this event. And so I'll be able to show the cards for, for the preview, so we can actually talk about how the deck works. So if I pull the main hero, then I'll definitely just stop, because that's what I needed to get the shiny as well. So we'll start with 2 tiers and then see where we go there, because 2 is the minimum number of tiers I need, and then 4 is the maximum. Like, I'm not going to go any further than that. So let's go ahead and get started and see. RNGP, good. Thank you very much. All right, so this is the Fire Beast Commander deck, and this is the last event of the season. And so the question is always like, is this a good deck or not? And look at this. So I had this thought in my head that, you know, like, what are the chances I'm going to pull something on the first couple of tiers? And so here you go. Hey, I got the ultra rare card that is the Volcanic Naga. All right, and so I'm really excited about this because I haven't had this kind of luck in a very long time. So yay. Okay, ultra rare on tier 1. That's awesome. Okay, so the question is, does it make sense to use the coins for this event? It really depends. I'm going to talk about the deck itself because there are things that I am curious about. There are questions that I have in my mind about this particular deck, but we're going to talk about it. But so far, we're off to a really good start, and so let's go ahead and do tier 2. So I have now enough coins to get two cards, so I can for sure forge the ultimate form, and then I'll be able to forge the ultimate form, and then have at least one more remaining afterwards. So hey, thank you everybody. I am very happy about that. That was a really good pull, and so that is the guaranteed. That is a guaranteed support card. So I'm going to do one more pull so I can get at least a relic here. So let's go ahead and pull a relic. And so let's take a look. So we're going to go to tier 3. And if I can avoid tier 4, I will. And if I don't get anything here, then I might consider just putting in the coins for the full team here, which I think is going to be okay. So this is going to be the relic, the Molten Mallet, and that is, I think, the regular relic there, and I think that's going to be it, right? Okay, so hey, my luck is finally, you know, turning around. So I finally pulled a gold card that is a Master Collection card or ultra rare card. That was a tier 1 pull, so I'm pretty happy about that. And then my second one is the relic here. So I'm not gonna pull tier 4 just yet because I still have the potential of getting the event card, right? So I still have the potential of getting event card, and so if I do, then I'll be able to get the shiny hero, and so not going to want to waste that there because I can save 2,500 gems basically. And so I'm going to go ahead and use a coin here because I think no matter what I'm going to be pulling, I'm going to be using a coin to forge. And the one I got is the ultra rare card. So I'm going to go ahead and craft here, right? Because 2,500 that'll leave me with 3,000. Yeah, so I kind of feel like I can save this time, right? Am I talking myself out of it? If I pull the event card now, I'll get the shiny. So I'll get 2 Master Collection cards, and there's a potential I could pull another card. Right? But I feel like, you know, tier 3 is probably where I want to stop. Okay? Because I think I'm gonna want to wait and save my gems. Or you know what? I'm feeling good, so I'm just gonna go for it. It's not often I actually pull something, and so I'm gonna go one tier further. It is gonna be 2,500, but this is going to be there'll be a guaranteed, right? So there's a guaranteed event card. I'll just get my shiny and everything, and we will just go ahead and see if I also pull another card here. Because if I do, then there's a potential that I could also use my coins to forge a full ultimate form from a previous event, but it doesn't look like that's gonna happen. So now we're gonna get all of the relics and the cards here. So I do get 2 relics anyway, so that is a good thing because we need intensity. We do need intensity for this deck also. Okay, so that is the fourth pull. So I got my deck here. So let's go ahead and get the card that I need. Which is going to be the Master Collection card, King of Cinders. All right. Yeah, another relic isn't a bad choice there. So let's see the cards that we did get here. So let's go ahead and take a look. Beast Killer Commander. All right. Yeah, so Volcanic Naga is what I got. And so we're going to go ahead and pull the Master Collection card. Then what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and craft this. We'll get the team, and then we will talk about the full team, and then I'm going to go against a boss, and then we're going to try out and see how it goes, okay? And so I still have enough for one more card, and if I don't get another card for me to do 2 stars here, one of the things I was thinking about is, wait a second, past ultimates, why? It's giving me all the fire ultimates. I was going to talk about like all of the previous ones. I might go with either the water one or the earth one. But in any case, let's go ahead and get our ultimate form, and then let's talk about the card. So doing it a little bit differently, like a little bit different order. I was kind of hoping maybe I'll change my luck a little bit, and hey, there you go. We actually got something, so that's good. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our forge, and I will be able to get the shiny collection, so we can go ahead and do that. So there is the ultimate form, and I think what I need to do is I need to get my event card upgraded, I believe, right? I think I need to get my event card to 5 stars. And so let's go ahead and evolve it. I just need to get the Longanite, and I already have that. So just I think 5 stars is what I need. I don't think I need a 6 stars. It could be that I need 6 stars, I'm not sure. Is it 6 stars? Oh, it does require 6 stars. Man, talk about requirements. Okay, and so this is the one. So this is actually it's a very interesting looking card. I have to say. So we will talk about it when I get it. All right. So so the deck this time, if you've taken a look beforehand, it's a little bit different than what we're used to seeing. It's a deck that doesn't have any boosts, okay? And so here you go, we've got the deck, and then we can go ahead and get our Master Collection card, then we can field our team, and then we can now talk about the deck itself, okay? And so let's go ahead and field the deck, and then let's see what we've got going on here. So I'm gonna go ahead and change this out. So Fire Commander B, so here's the ultimate form, here is the Master Collection card, and here's the ultra rare, and here is basically 2 Master Collection cards and an event card, and I do have a support card, so we can put it in here just so that we can talk about it. Okay, and so we will do it in this order. All right, cool. So here's the team. Now, so starting with the ultimate form, this is the Flamebound Taurus, and it's kind of interesting because they've used quite a few teams now that have like the United Taurus is also a team that uses the name for Taurus. But anyways, this is the team that most resembles the Lalo deck, which is a Generation 2 deck that used to store up all the damage, and then you give a nuke shot afterwards. And so if you take a look at the battle skill, it's called Volcanic Annihilation. What this card will do is it'll create 4 power gems, and then for every 150 beast killer intensity, it generates 1 more, and it does it for the next 3 turns. So there's 4 turns where you're going to get gem creation. So the higher your intensity, the more gems you'll create for 4 turns straight. And it has a 3-turn cooldown, so there's actually a period where it'll passively create the power gems, and then you can do more on top of that. So every 3 turns, you're just going to build up on the power gems. You're going to create more and more every 3 turns. Basically, you're going to have a non-stop flow of power gems every single turn. So the more Master Collections you have, the more power gems you will have, actually. Okay, so that's how the deck works here. And then it's an interesting passive ability where every 5th attack, then you have a turn delay, right? So it gives you a 1-turn delay. So I think that's kind of interesting. But what's most important about this particular deck is that it has this thing called Magma Gland. Okay, so what you do is when you activate the battle skill, it will unleash the magma that will delete all of the stored damage. And the magma glands is what actually stores the damage. So every time you do damage, so it doesn't matter if you do like 1 damage or like 200 damage or like trillions of damage, whatever it is, the damage of that particular card, not the deck, but the card itself gets stored. But it only stores up to 3. So it doesn't like, you can't just like attack forever and then store it up and then unleash like a single hit. It will only store 3 attacks. So if you have like 2 small attacks and 1 big one, that's what gets stored. Okay. And then when you activate your battle skill is when it will unleash it. But it doesn't mean that you have to wait 3 hits. It simply means whenever you activate your battle skill, it's going to attack and it's going to immediately send out a nuke damage. Now, my understanding is that when you do this, what it should do is you should take that card damage and it should apply that by the 3 keys rule. So if you're using 3 keys, I think it will multiply that by 5 again. So whatever card damage was, it should come out to 5 times that. We will test this out right after this. So that is how this deck works. But you notice here, there's no attack boost. There's no attack boost and there's no damage boost. And so the concern here is whether or not it's going to be good enough to take down the solo bosses for the 500% overkill or even 100% overkill. All right, so the question is, will it even be able to deal enough damage to actually take out the boss with enough overkill? That's the question, which unfortunately will not be able to answer until the event starts. But we can take a look at the Master Collection card here, which is King of Cinders. So King of Cinders is the Master Collection card, and this is the one that creates the power gems. Okay, so it gives you the 4 power gems and then 1 for every 150 intensity. So far I've got 2 Master Collection cards and the Ultimate Form. So that guarantees me 12 power gem 4s to start. And for every 150 intensity, we will go up by 1. Right? And so we got more people showing up and just wanted to say hi to everybody who's saying hello to the stream. Don't forget to join the raffle so that you can be there's a chance for you to win a hat. Okay. And let's see, Come William D. For Crusade waves, it's better to use the Ultimate Form and the Ultra Rare in position 1 or 5, or it might not store damage. That's a good point. So we will talk about what that means as well. So that's a good feedback there. Ultra Rare card is another card that will do nothing but store and release damage. So it's kind of like back when we had Lalo. It was basically Lalo and Exenka. And the thing about this type of deck is having another Ultra Rare card in here may not actually do all that much, because what happens here is if you're sending out the nuke from your Ultimate Form, for example, you can't do 2 of the nukes at the same time. And so if your first nuke deals enough damage to take out the boss, then your second one is never going to be used anyway. And so having multiple ultra rare cards here isn't necessarily going to be the most useful in certain situations. Okay, you could argue that you could use the ultra rare card and basically keep nuking it down, so then you could deal more damage. But I think if the goal is to have one big hit that gives you that 500%, you might not benefit from having more ultra rare cards in the deck, but we'll see. It's very situational. I don't want to say that it's not good. I just think that this card is just there to store damage and to unleash it. But it does have a passive ability that creates 2 power gems whenever it attacks. Whereas I don't think the Ultimate Form has that. Yeah, so the Ultimate Form doesn't have that passive power gem creation. Only the ultra rare card does. And while I'm here, so there's armor. So it dispels armor and poison. So there's poison. So that's something to consider. Then we have the event card here, Garladon the Glorious, which took me a while. I was kind of looking at this for a little bit, and I realized that it's an elephant. It's a fire elephant. The ears are basically at the shoulders here, and it's a dude with 2 big flaming swords. And so this is the event card here, and what his battle skill does is very simple, but it lasts for 3 turns also, 4 turns total. So create 3 power gem 2s, doesn't create more, but then it'll basically do this for 4 turns. So it's another card where over time it becomes more useful because it'll create 3 for 3 turns, 4 turns total, but on the 3rd turn, you'll be able to create additional 3 more. So you're going to have, first you're going to start with 3, then you're going to go up to 6, and then you're going to be able to create 9 because of the passive. No, I'm incorrect. You're going to create 6 starting the third turn, and then 6. Basically, you're gonna be able to create 6 power gems because of the passive from the event card after the first 3 turns. So not a terrible card. Not I would have liked it to have the ability to create a little bit more, but I think that it's right in the middle of the ballpark for me. And then this card will also dispel poison. Right. Finally, we have the support card here, Molten Serpica. And this is a support card that will create, again, the theme here is 4 straight turns of creating gems, but this one only creates 4 fire gems. All right, it'll create for 4 turns straight, but only creates it for 4 turns total. Only 4 for 4 turns total. But every time you attack, you're going to heal a little bit. And so this deck is all about constant attacks. So you're constantly attacking, but there's no boost of any kind. There is not a single boost in any of the cards here, and that is the one thing that I feel is missing. Because the meta so far has been all the commander events have had decks that give you some sort of a damage boost or attack boost. And then attack boosts from the commander decks then work really well in the Slayer deck. And so what happens here is, well, now we're not going to be able to give our ring royalty a nice boost in the next time that we have a Fire Slayer event. Like, we're not going to be able to boost this as much. Ah, man, it looks like the chat is not refreshing. All of the chatter that's going on is just like not feeding into the chat. So if you're looking at the screen, sorry, all you're seeing is the Streamlab update on the Raffle here. But I hope that it'll update it soon. But a lot of people have asked questions to, like, is the Slayer deck going to cut it? I think that it can, and I think that it will, but I think that it's going to require a little bit of you're gonna have to change your cards around, obviously. But let's go ahead and first change our relics here. So we're going to use these 2. And I mean, like, what I could do, I could really just take out the event card, the support card here, and I can put in this card. Because what this card will do, the ring royalty will do, is this card will give me attack boost equal to the percentage of my health, and I get a free revive, right? So it is something there, and it's also a Slayer card that I can use to boost intensity, so I can now field. So this is, I guess, where having all of extra relics from when I would do nothing, when I get nothing but relic pulls, actually worked out for me. And so this is the deck that I could be using. Now let's go ahead and try this out and see how it works. And also, incidentally, because it is a Slayer Fire Beast card, it will work really well against Quetzalcoatl. And so let's go to Legend Trials and let's see, how many coins do I have? I guess I couldn't summon the Corellian, not that I'm going to. But we're going to go ahead and summon Quetzalcoatl, the regular one. And then we're going to try the deck out. So let's go ahead and battle. Okay, and so we're gonna do a couple of things. The first one is we're going to see how well it actually works. And then we're going to sort of talk about the mechanics and also when you should activate what cards, etc. And what are the options here. So I don't know that I would... Hold on a second. I feel like I'm short a card. I think I am short a card. Here, yeah, I am. Okay, so there's the Master Collection card. So what Colin William Deeb was saying before was that if you're doing a wave fight, you're going to want to put the Ultimate Form and the Ultra Rare card on either end, on positions 1 and 5. And the reason for that is, I think, is the order of firing. Now, I actually thought that it was going to be middle first, but I think it goes left and then right and then kind of works its way in. So I think what happens is position 1 and position 5 will deal damage first, and then position 2 and then 4, and then position 3. So what that means is, if you attack with attack first on positions 1 and 5, then you're guaranteed to store the damage. But then if you have it in any other position, what happens is you may take out the bosses in the previous wave, but your card never actually dealt any damage. And so the best thing is to have your ultimate form on the left and ultra rare on the right. That way you're guaranteed to store damage, at least on your ultimate form. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a 3 key attack, and let's see how we do. And the chat is not refreshing. Okay, and we're going to have a few turns here where we're not going to be doing anything, so we're going to use this opportunity also to explore the sequence of firing, right? And so you don't want to the thing is, you don't want to activate the ultra rare card, and you don't want to activate the ultra rare. And so this is actually what you've got. But I guess you could do this. What you could do is you could just go ahead, and they even have the same picture. Okay, so the ultra rare card doesn't do anything, but the ultimate form will create 4 power gems. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna go ahead and do this. I'm wasting a lot of time here because I want to kind of talk it through. And so you should see we're going to create. So there you go. Lots of power gems on turn 2. We're gonna do this for 4 turns straight. Okay, and so we're gonna have one more turn where we're going to create power gems, and then after that, we're going to have our battle skills be available. So after the battle skills are available, then you can see we're still going to have the passive spawning ability. Now, when we go ahead and activate, we can basically create a lot, right? But I'm not activating my ultra rare and my ultimate form just yet because it doesn't deal any damage. So I want to wait until I can actually deal some damage before I activate it, so we can see how much damage it does. Because my suspicion is that it's going to take the card damage and multiply by 5 rather than just dealing the same amount of damage. And so depending on the amount of damage that we do on our card, we will see how much we do here. So you can see with this deck, we can easily fill out the deck pretty easily, right? And so I don't think, so like looking at this now, like I don't think it's actually going to be an issue to fill out the board. And so you can deal a lot of damage every turn because you can have a lot of power gems every turn just from the passive ability. So that's something I'm thinking about now. All right, so now what we've got is now we're gonna start storing damage, okay? And so 400. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna be killing the boss after this attack, so I'm just gonna go ahead and nuke now. So it was 400 billion, all right? And so let's see how much damage is done on the boss. Wait, did it just say 3? What? Wait, what? Did you see? It dealt 3 damage. What was that? Something seemed off. Did you guys see that? So I activated it after I dealt damage, and the card dealt, I think, like 400 billion, and I would have expected to hit for 2 trillion, but instead it hit for 3. Oh, you know why it was? Because it stored the first 3, and my mistake was I didn't that was the thing about the Lalo deck. Once you store damage, you have to unleash it. And so what I should have done is I should have unleashed it as soon as the armor was done. And then I could have attacked and then dealt damage. So let's go ahead and try it because I stored all of the damage from when I did basically nothing. So since I have the coins for it, let's just do it again. I'm not going for the Corellium using him anyway, so let's that was kind of funny actually. So let's go ahead and summon him again. That was some damage. Oh man, I was like, oh, that is a good selling point right there. Right, so that was the thing I totally forgot about. So yeah, so like when the key thing here is you have to remember that you're storing the very first 3 attack that you do as soon as you use your battle skill. So as soon as you've used up your battle skill, you're going to start storing any damage that you deal. Okay, and so you have to do what I didn't do, and that is you have to let it go. You've got to let it go, and then let's say you have some bad attack, like let's say you have some like really bad damage, and you want to store a big one. You just let it go, and then start storing again before you attack. So this is going to require some thinking, and some planning as well. So I'm not sure that it's going to be just like a super straightforward, because like you may have a couple of attacks where you do like no damage. Like let's say you didn't get rid of armor, for example. But what happens is you've actually done a bunch of damage, and so the times that your damage is blocked, that's what you're going to store. So I learned my lesson. Hopefully this helps you as you play. That was really funny, actually. Yeah. I was like, let's see, we should be able to deal at least 400 and something billion, and then 3 came out. I don't think I've ever seen 3 attack. So that is a pretty fun thing to see there too, like 3 attack. All right, so here you go. So we're gonna have 3 turns, perfect, because we're going to be getting rid of the armor right then. And so what I'm gonna do is, I have to unleash it. Shoot, I need to unleash it now. The reason for that is because if I don't, there's a 3-turn cooldown, right? There's a 3-turn cooldown, and so if I don't unleash it that turn, I'm not going to be able to activate. Oh my god, I'm worried that if I activate everything, I'm going to kill the boss. Okay, so this is 105. Now we can try this. Okay, so 105. Actually, this is probably better just to not kill the boss right now. So 105 and 6. So 110 if we 110, 112. Okay, so it doesn't actually, you saw that, right? It doesn't do the 5 times multiplier. So did you see the amount of damage that was dealt to the boss? So it actually dealt the amount of damage that I expected to deal, which was the 106 or 100 something plus the 105. For a total of 112 billion. And so my thought was that it would take the damage that was on the card and then it would multiply by 5, because it's one of those things where the damage itself gets multiplied by the number of keys you have. But it looks like that wasn't the case. And so whatever damage you deal over 3 turns, okay, over 3 hits, that's what's going to be added, and that's the total damage. And so if that's the case, then I don't see how this nuke is going to be able to help you with 100%, because if you were to deal enough damage over 3 turns to take out the full health of the boss, then you're not going to be able to nuke anyway. And the only way to be able to nuke it is to get 3 hits, because there's no multiplier. Because there's no multiplier, the nuke will never be able to give you that overkill. That's over 100%. Unless I'm completely missing something. Based on what I saw was the nuke not multiplying itself by a factor of 5. And if that's the case, then the most damage you can deal to a boss before you kill it is 99%. And if you do that over 3 hits, let's say, then the next nuke you'll be able to do is simply the 99% of the damage. And so you're never going to be able to get 100% overkill. If you activate all after 3 turns, the damage should be higher. Well, it's simply going to be whatever damage I added, that I've dealt. But I think that back in the Lalo deck, it was multiplied twice, unless they fixed that. Right, unless they fix it. I thought that back when it was the Lalo deck, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So there is a deck here, Dark. It was Commander, and I think it was Noble. No, it was Honored. A Dark Honor deck, right? So this is the card. So when this card used to do the nuke, what it will do is it will actually take all of the card damage, and then when it came out, it was like 5 times more than what it has stored. That's what I remember it being. And so based on this information, and the fact is I had a card that gave me 100% not 100%, but basically gave me additional attack damage already to it. I don't know that this is going to be a deck that you should expect to get overkills with. Okay, and so that's something to consider. However, I think that from a wave to wave type deck, this works really well for Crusade. That's how I feel. So I feel like this is a very Crusade focused deck, and it's not the type of deck that is going to get you that overkill. So you're gonna have to get your overkill simply by the deck dealing a ton of damage, because even if you have one single big attack that deals like 90% of the damage, the problem here is your other two attacks can't exceed the remaining 10%. And so because there's no added modifier to the nuke itself, the best you can do is 99%. Or 99.9999, whatever. Like you can do everything except leave 1 health, and because of that 1 health that you cannot take, you will never reach 100% overkill. Multiplied by ultra rare. No, I think no. The problem here is the ultra rare card and your ultimate form. They can only be activated separately. And because they're activated separately, it's moot. Like, once you kill the boss, you can't activate it again. And so it's not the type of deck that is going to be able to allow you to use both at a time. And this was the same issue we had with the Lalo deck. Exenka is essentially the same as the ultra rare card in this case. And for any of you who've used this deck before, this or the Exenka, Lalo plus Exenka, it was essentially she was basically like, I would say, unnecessary. And so I ended up using just a single Master Collection card, and that was Lalo in there, because it doesn't matter. Like once you have enough nukes in there, you can't take advantage of those anyway. And so the question is, if you were to craft one over the other, I would say for sure, absolutely, without a doubt, Master Collection card. So Master Collection card is absolutely the way to go for this deck, because once you have the ultimate form, I just don't see. let me put it this way: because this is a commander deck, and there's no additional damage boost, I'm not really going to be using this in a Slayer deck. I don't see myself using the ultra rare card any other time, and so the Master Collection card gives you that 4 turns of fire gems. So this could also be a pretty good Gilver's GVG deck. Okay, because you can get lots of gems if you can survive, the first hit, and if you can survive turn delay, whatnot. You could theoretically have a deck that's very good for wave focused fights. And so it's definitely going to be really good for any wave focus, like Crusade, or potentially Kill versus Kill. Although I haven't tested it out, so I don't know. And I mean, like, I could, right? So let's see. I'm trying to think. Like, do I? Kill versus Kill is done right now, and so there's really no teams I can try this against. I don't know of anybody that has like an Earth team either, but right now from where I'm sitting, I'm really torn, simply because I knew I was going to use the coins for this deck because I haven't had a deck in all season. Really, really disappointed that there's not a single boost here, especially since if there wasn't going to be any damage boost at all or any attack boost, I would have expected the nuke itself to have gotten some sort of boost. So like I could skirmish anybody. Like if anybody has like a Earth team that they want me to try out, I just don't know of anyone offhand, because this doesn't really make sense for me to go off affinity. Right, so actually Ranson brought up an even better point, and that is because the nuke is only for the card itself and not the whole team, your card itself isn't going to be capable of dealing 99% of the damage, right? Because you have 4 other cards in there. And so the fact remains your deck is going to the most you can do with your deck is 99% of the boss's health, and you're going to deal potentially 20 to 30% of that with your nuke. And so without that boost, then it's not really useful. So I don't really see that the nuke here being a huge selling point. So Conway and DB got a Earth defense. All right, let's see if we can set something up. Let's go and take a look. So my problem here is I don't have a guild versus guild relic either. So what I need to depend on is the ability of attacking. Okay, well let's give it a try. Let's see. Let's go ahead and practice. Right. Let's see if this team is even worth it for a guild versus guild situation. Right. So the first thing we need to do is we need to survive, and we need to survive. And would I use this, or would I use a Dragoon? So let's take a look, right? So I'll probably use a Dragoon here. Oh, but if I do that, then I will not be able to use my relics. If I do that, then I can't use my my 3 excuse me, my 3 relics, which is really the whole point there. So what does this card do again? This card gives me 400% for all fire slayer. Okay. And is this giving me fire slayer, or all this is lead for all fire beast killer? Okay. So I guess we'll do this. Let's just give it a try just to see. I want to try out the ability of the card to like whether or not the passive ability is going to mean anything. So we got Catherine and got Boar. You guys all use Earth defense teams. It's good to know. Next time we can use that opportunity to try out. All right, so the first thing is I think I have enough health. We'll have to see. All right, and I don't think this deals enough damage on turn 1. And this is a not quite enough damage, and I have. So the good thing is I have revive from the at least I have revive from the ring royalty. And so let's see. So we actually have a nuke here. I wonder if this is going to be just not enough, but I might be able to survive, and I'll be able to nuke again. Okay. And so if I do this, I should be able to survive here, but I may not be able to deal enough damage the next turn. But you saw that, right? The nuke was almost good enough. It's just that there's just not enough power gems. Okay. And so this time we're going to go ahead and do a power gem swap. This might actually be okay. All right. So in terms of the amount of damage it deals, it's not bad, right? And I can activate this again. So pairing this deck with the ring royalty worked out really well because you get that initial revive, right? So unless your opponent starts with I guess the thing is gem silence would be a problem for this deck, right? And gem silence would be a problem, and also flatline would be an issue. Now let's take a look and see if our nuke is good enough. Yeah, so basically if you can survive a few hits, then your nuke is going to be good enough for guild versus guild. And this one is also going to be able to take out the final one. So from a guild versus guild perspective, it didn't seem bad. That wasn't a bad outing at all, right? I mean, like Kong William Deep's got a pretty strong defense team. Okay. And so let's see, Judge of All, you got First Fallen. I mean, we can try them all. Like, there's going to be different things now. Like, this deck isn't necessarily like an end all be all for the deck. Like I said, there's a lot of first card defense that will break it. And chat box, thank you very much. So let's see. There's another name that I saw here. Chaplain Alice Oxy. Chaplain Alice. Typo. All right, so let's now try against a different Earth setup. So this is not an Earth pure Earth setup. This is a off affinity that has. I probably wouldn't be going in with my fire team, to be honest with you, like for this kind of a mixed deck, because I think this having a I probably would use something else that gives me like immunity overall, and this is like a fire and earth, so I won't be going in with water, that's for sure. It's an interesting setup here though. Right, Gem Silence is going to be a problem. Power Gem Silence. It doesn't heal, right? Only a support card heals, so Toxin's not an issue. And if you're relying on something like Ring Royalty, then, Flatline would be an issue. But I think the biggest problem here is Gem Silence first boss would cause headaches because there's no cleanse. Another one that what I want to see here is I got hit by chaos. So I'm curious if I'm going to end up losing these power gems the next turn, right? And I don't even deal enough damage right now. So let's go ahead and do a gem swap here and see how much damage you can do. So for a pure event deck, would it still be good for guild versus guild? So I think that, so here is Toxin, and it got rid of all of my cards, but it looks like it gets rid of my deck first before the passive ability comes in. So here you go. Like I'm going up against a different affinity deck here, so I'm not sure I'll be able to take it out this turn, but I do have a revive still, so I can still take another hit. So that's not going to be an issue. I can get rid of this. Oh, I thought that this would actually destroy non-fire gems. If I didn't destroy that power gem, I think I'll be able to clear this no problem. And so I've also now got 3 nukes saved up. So what I can do is I could simply probably just go ahead and, I can just activate this. There's no more chaos. I think what I'll do is I can use, that one had dealt no damage, huh? Okay, so let's go ahead and activate here. That one dealt hardly any damage at all. I wonder what happened there. I wonder if that one got blocked. So anyways, this card definitely has more damage saved up. And this is a fire one. I still have a revive, but I don't have a lot of... so this one dealt the same amount of damage there. I still have health. So even if I lose here, I'll be able to revive. I wonder how much I'll be able to revive by. Okay, and there is weaken, and I'm getting hit by the burgers. So I think because of this, I don't get my attack boost. And you can see here these burgers can be very, very annoying too. I may not even be able to beat this team with this setup. If I don't survive this one, then I will. But I mean, then again, like I wouldn't necessarily go into this team, this setup with this team. It would be something different. But against like an Earth setup, I think this team with its nuke can work pretty well. I'll do one more, and I think the one that was the Fallen one, right? I think where's the name here? First Fallen. Okay, so let's do one more. Let's just take a look here and see how we do there. But you can see how, against a mixed team, it kind of falls apart, right? Not it falls apart, but it doesn't work quite as well. So I would say that that was a good team to also try against. And Sergeant Madness. So I didn't see your message there. Original Klaus Mikkelsen. Is that the in-game name you have there? All right, so let's test out this deck again. And I guess the question here is, if I didn't have the Ring Royalty, will it still be a good GVG deck as a event deck on its own? If that's the case, then I think what you have to do is you have to pair it with Commander and Beast Killer. You're going to have to pair it with the event card so you can get your additional boost. Now, the problem is going to be relics, right? So the problem for me is the relics, because I'm not going to have the power. It doesn't really matter. I won't have the power gems anyway. So let's give this a try. So this is definitely going to be an issue because I don't think I'm going to survive the first hit. And it's a Gem Silence, right? And I don't think there's anything that dispels Gem Silence here. And so this is going to be there's nothing we can do. And I'll show you. I'll probably simply just die on the first hit. And then after that, I'm going to get hit by Gem Silence, and this deck is basically useless after that. So I'm gonna hit by Gem Silence, and then I won't even be able to survive. And so I think this deck works well because I had Ring Royalty for the revive. Okay. But Gem Silence and Power Gem Silence is going to be a big problem for this deck for Guild versus Skill. But in situations where the defender doesn't start with Gem Silence, then I think that it would be something that you can definitely try out. So Bo and Zhang, am I going to do the Ultimate Form comparison in this video? Yes, I will. And before I forget, since the raffle has completed, I'm going to go ahead and pick a winner. All right, so the winner is Joe K78. Congratulations for winning. So what you should expect is you're going to receive a link. So go ahead and click on the link to accept the hat. Okay. And so congratulations again. And for everybody else, hope I will continue this again. So for those of you who might have joined a little bit later, again, this is what I have here, the store, and I'll probably rotate around like different things. And do expect that there's a delay though, because I think because of the current situation, the centers they do take a little bit of time to fulfill. So it's going to be a couple of weeks for it. Okay, and so yeah, so congratulations for the win. That is going to, and you can choose a color there. It's a dark version, so you can choose one of those 3 different colors there. There is a store. I wonder if this will work. It's supposed to promote it. It doesn't actually. I have to set up that command. Basically, I have a merch store, and if you guys wanted to check it out, you can. It's going to be. I'll share the link later. I'm still working on it, so I'm not sure. It's Oh, it is there. Okay, so there's the link. There's a link to the merch store, so you guys can take a look, and then just for your own selves. But I do this really just so that it's easier for me to do the giveaway. But yes, so that is pretty much what I wanted to showcase for the deck here. My personal feeling is that Catherine, I'm not sure what's going to be the upcoming Drill Fist store. I can't remember, unfortunately. It's the one after. It was supposed to be the one after Hellboy, and so I don't remember what that one is anymore. So my parting thoughts on this deck. It's going to be fun for the event itself, just for the Crusade part. So for me personally, I don't really mind if I don't overkill the solo bosses too much, but I think it will make the Crusades a lot easier, because you're going to get all these power gems every turn, right? Depending on the team, depending on the setup, this could be a really good Guild versus Skill deck as well. And the problem here is without any additional attack boost, any damage boost, it might feel really weak in all the other scenarios. And so this has no real reuse ability either. So it's not the type of deck where I would say, oh, this is the perfect deck to place into a Slayer deck. This deck is sort of, because it doesn't have the Slayer attack, it doesn't have the Slayer multiplier. So even with its nuke, it's not really going to be useful in a Slayer event. And it doesn't provide any additional boost to a Slayer card, so I don't see it being useful in that situation. And so from a versatility perspective, it's not the deck that I would say is a must-have. For me, not having any event deck for the past whole season, I don't mind having this just to play with it. But it definitely is not the strongest one of this particular season. That's how I feel. Is there shipping to Europe? I think it does. You can give it a try. I think it does fulfillment to Europe also. I believe there is one in... I can't remember the country, but yes, I think in Europe there is a fulfillment center as well. So you can take a look there. I believe it takes PayPal though, so you have to check. Nigel, is it worth using the legend relic such as the Ray Staff, or is it better to use a Fire Commander or Slayer relic? So it depends on the situation. So if you have a relic that can create power gems, then you should consider using that. The thing about using Ray's Staff, so if you take a look at the gear, if you take a look at Ray's Staff, what's good about it is that you get a power gem on the first turn if you have Ray in the team. Otherwise, what you really get from it is attack boost for Ray itself, and also just scaled attack and flat attack, as well as flat health, which is a lot higher than a regular relic. So if you are going to use a commander or a Slayer relic that isn't going to give you any power gems anyway, then using a Ray Staff is not a bad choice. Just keep in mind that your initial gem count is going to be lower because Ray Staff doesn't spawn gems, but the boost for your health and also your attack is going to be for all fire heroes. So if it's a mix of Slayer or Commander, it will still apply to them all. And so there is definitely a place where having the Ray Staff is going to give you more damage output. I would say in situations where you don't really have any other good relics, like you don't have any good event relics to go with it, then throw a Ray Staff in there. Like, why not? I think, especially if you have it enchanted, I think it's definitely a much better choice. You won't get to take advantage of the legend intensity though. That's the only thing. So let's see. So there's a question about the fire bunnies with Easter with Bosco the Flame Wielder. That's right. So I'll have an opportunity to get that ultimate form if I wanted to. So let's see. What was with the Drillfist Steeple deck being different than what was predicted for the light one? I think the reason is because it was supposed to be Hellboy, but Hellboy is it's a licensed movie, and it has licensing issues, and I don't think that they're allowed to sell anything Hellboy related anymore, and so that's why it's not in the store. So that's why you can't get any of that's why you can't buy back any of the things like the Daimon, all of those cards. I think that's the reason. I wasn't told of this, but my expectation is that it was there during the time when we bought it because it was a promotion for the movie, and there must have been a special agreement during that time, and that's probably expired at this point, so you can't come back and just buy that anymore. So what about the ultimate form from Revenge Source? It's a Fire Commander. What about using the ultimate form for the Revenge Source? I don't actually know that card. So the questions around what cards you should use, what are the possibilities? I think once you have the ultimate form, it gives you the 9 times boost. then you could really consider throwing anything else that gives you an advantage, right? Cards that give, like, you could even potentially use a 9 times boost, and then you could think about something like this, right? So now we can talk a little bit about like some alternatives. So, for example, if you had the arcane deck, right? If you had the arcane deck, you could also potentially consider using Circuit Break Hilaria. Use Circuit Break Hilaria for the insane amount of arcane damage that you can boost, that you can get, right? What is it? 200, basically 5, you can go like 650% boost. That's the maximum you can get, but you need to do arcane intensity. You throw a couple in there, and suddenly your arcane killer cards will deal a ton of damage. And so on top of that, you're getting the 9 times boost from your Slayer, from your ultimate form. And so what we see a lot here is the event ultimate form simply becomes a way to give you that additional damage boost, and then you use another killer skill, same affinity, different and what you'll get is you're going to get that that attack that might even exceed the event deck. Okay, keep in mind that in a commander event, individual cards don't do more damage than others. It's how much of the commander bonus you're going to gather. And so if you have the arcane commander fire deck, I would say try using that, because the reason it wouldn't work in any other event outside of the arcane killer skill is because it doesn't have the killer skill applicable. But if you have the event deck, if you have Flamebound Taurs, and you also have the arcane deck, which I don't, right? Consider using it. Like, I might even try it just for fun, just to see, like, well, if I were to throw in a couple of Circuit Break Hilaria, and if I were to throw in, another fire arcane card, even if it's Slayer, right? This is something to consider. All right, this is something I think I would seriously consider. I mean, for me, Circuit Break Hilaria might be it. Like, I might just do 3 of those cards. 3 Circuit Break Hilaria plus, my event deck, and then see what I get from there. Because you might be surprised. So we'll try it out and then we'll see. Okay. So let's see. JoK78, you can't claim the prize. Error indicates you're not the intended one. Okay, so I'll work it out with you afterwards. And then if we can't do it that way, then I will message me on the app afterwards, and then I will work it out with you. Okay. Suggestions for spending the coins. You haven't used yours. I would say that you should consider getting the Freedom Fighters if you haven't already gotten it, because that is going to be the last event before it goes away. So the Freedom Fighters is going to be gone forever from the Proving Ground store. And if you have an opportunity to get it, I would. Even if you don't have either of the cards, I would say you should get the Bio Blitzer, because we expect that Militant Maven is going to be a mercenary boss when it finally comes around. I'm kind of bummed that they didn't have it this season, but I imagine next season we're going to have Militant Maven. So if you don't have a need for anything and you have the coins that you need to spend on, get Bio Blitzer so that you can be prepared for when Maven comes around, and then you could get yourself a ultimate form for Freedom Fighters, which is one of the best ultimate forms around. Okay. Should you craft 2 pink star or use the coin to get another card from another event? So Lisha, I'm not sure that two pink stars here is necessarily going to be the greatest option. I think that the water commander is a really good deck, and I think the earth commander is also a really good deck. So either of those two are probably going to be your better alternatives than to just put more coins or more gems into this deck. I think if you got a single pink star, that should probably be good enough, because like getting more pink stars isn't going to help you get more overkill. That's my feel. Okay. So that is going to be it for me for today. So JoK, I'm going to look into this because that should have been purchased already. So I'm not sure why it didn't work for you, but I'm going to look into it, and then I'll make sure to get it out to you as well. It is my first time trying out that store there, so hiccups will happen. Okay. All right, and so that is going to be it for me for today. Thank you very much for joining me here. I'm glad that I was able to show you the deck and talk about this a little bit more firmly because I can actually play with it, right? Freedom Fighters are Dark Affinity. Okay, so Bio Blitzer is the one that you should get. All right, and so take a look. Take a look at the Proving Ground store. That's the one I would recommend. Okay, so thank you very much, everybody. Take care. Have a good event, and I will have more videos to talk about the deck itself and also my recommendations for all of the Ultimate forms this season. Okay? All right, so thank you very much. Take care. Have a good night. See you next time.